So the governor's been in office for 1,190 days, which is 3 years, 3 months, and 4 days. And I do a little conservative math indicating he has been introduced in public gatherings at least 3 times a day, 5 days a week, or at least 850 times. And that tells me that it is well nigh impossible to come up with anything extra, not yet used way to introduce him. He is, of course, the 45th governor of this great state. Everyone here knows that his mantra is jobs, 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 economic development. Many of you will know that he is putting more early learning and school readiness emphasis in the state's budget than anyone this past decade. You may know that he grew up in a hardscrabble environment with a great example of his parents' work ethic and values. You might know he was in the Navy and used the GI Bill for both college and law school, and subsequently did very well in the business world. You might even know that he and Ann will celebrate their 42nd wedding anniversary this Easter weekend, and that they have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. But I'm willing to bet most of you don't know that the first book he remembers is the children's Bible his mother read him. Or you wouldn't know that he is now reading a very iconic Florida book, Cross Creek by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. You wouldn't know his favorite TV program is Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Veep. I don't know what the significance of this is. And you probably don't know that the most fun he had recently was riding a camel at the Naples Zoo with 2-year-old grandson August. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who knows from his own family and from Florida's families the importance of the early years, our Governor, Rick Scott.
Thanks, everybody. So, David Lawrence. I met David, 1990, probably 91. He's running the Miami Herald, and here's how persuasive he is. I was living in Fort Worth, Texas at the time. I bought some hospitals in Miami, and he got me to be the sponsor of the Children's Home Society with Jim McLemore. We raised more money, I think, that year than they'd raised, and I didn't even live in the city. But David is a doer. I mean, we're all here because of David. I mean, David gets things done. And he has been a great friend for all the years that I've known him, and he's a testament to somebody that can get things done whether you're elected or not. So first thing I want to do is, David, I just thank you for everything you've done. Dr. Levitt, thank you very much. I have 3 grandsons now, and it is fun to watch their brains develop. My daughters and my son-in-laws are very committed, and I know the importance. When you look at this, I'm shocked that I've gotten anywhere. I did have a great mom, and I always tell the stories how much she pushed me, and and that's what it takes. And unfortunately, as we all know, that not everybody has a great mom or dad, and they need help, and that's what we're doing. And the nice thing is we have a House and a Senate that believes in it. We are in a state that we have now a budget surplus. We're in a state that jobs are coming back. We have a state that we can invest. Now the trick is, do we invest well? But whether it's Seth McKeel or Eric Fresen or Merlino O'Toole or our other members, I don't know if there are other members of House and Senate here, they care. If you look at the budgets that have happened, and we walked in my first year, my first budget with a $3.6 billion budget deficit, this House and this Senate has done everything they can to make sure the money is spent smartly. And the money we're putting in, the increase this year to be $1.1 billion in early learning, $100 per pupil increase, $30 more million for 6,500 students, that's the right thing to do. My goal, my goal is to make sure that we continue to have a budget and continue to have jobs, all these things, so we can invest more money. Because you clearly look at a presentation like this, it matters. And look, All of us have had experiences. I grew up around a lot of alcoholism, and that's a bad life. I've had family members that have had drug abuse issues. That's a tough life. And if we can do things early and prevent those things, we not only makes our society better, but we all have families and friends that deal with those things, and it is devastating. I have a mom that she passed away 15 months ago, and probably the hardest thing for her, as proud as she was about other things, is to have a son that had drug issues. It's devastating for them. Carol Jenkins Barney, thank you very much, Carol. I met Carol and Barney probably about the same time I met David Dill after that through the United Way. They were very involved in the United Way, not only in Lakeland, but not only in Florida, but nationally. And I remember years ago the programs that they pushed to make sure that our kids got a better start in life. And you've done it forever, so thank you for what you did. You know, one of the greatest things about this job is you meet wonderful people around the state that are doing things. And if you look at a company like Publix and all the things they do, but also with the family around Publix, what they do, we do a lot of, I don't think Barbara Palmer's here, but we do a lot of roundtables with individuals with learning disabilities, and Publix comes up all the time. And if you've ever done a roundtable with people with learning disabilities, the most important thing for them is not more funding. The most important thing for them is a job. They are absolutely committed to being as independent as they can be. And Publix does a great job of helping people become independent. So thank you. I want to thank Mark Wilson and the Chamber and all the chambers around the state. I meet with a lot of chambers, but they're clearly every day trying to make our state a better place. And Pat said something that's really true in my experience in trying to recruit companies. Companies are coming here. Look, they love the fact that we have no income tax. They love the fact that we're a right-to-work state. They love the fact that we're the gateway to Latin America. They love all those things. They really are moving here because we have the right workforce, we have the right education program, things like that. If we didn't have it, we wouldn't have the jobs. And we've added 540,000 jobs. So I want to thank the Chamber for all they're doing. I'm not sure, I didn't see where Shane Goff is, but where's Shane? Oh, how are you doing? We've gotten to travel around and highlight what we're doing on early learning, but Shane's an individual that really cares about our state and about these kids, and it makes a difference. Thanks for what you're doing. I got to know Pam Stewart. We got to travel around and listen to teachers. We've done a lot of roundtables with teachers around the state. They care. We have great teachers. And I brag about our teachers all the time around our state. But Pam is doing a great job with K-12. And I've lived in 8 states. So every state I've lived in, people complain about their education system. What we're trying to do is, look, we always have things we can improve. And especially the 3 legislators here are trying to do that. But 4th graders, number 2 in the world in reading. 4th and 8th graders, highest student achievement gains in a large state in the last 3 years of any state in the country. African American students, highest student achievement gains last year. Hispanic students, highest graduation rates. National Council for Teacher Quality, most effective teachers. We have a great education system. So Pam is a great leader and is doing a great job. And we said we were on the tail end of that thing, so hopefully our brains are still working. Also, many of you probably, Gary, if you stand there, a lot of people haven't met Gary. Gary has Gary is a very successful business individual from Jacksonville, built a great company, and he's very focused on education. He's the chair of the Board of Education. They're doing their best to make sure they support what we all believe in is an improved education system. He gets a lot of feedback from people and loves every minute of it. But he's been very active in, especially in Jacksonville, with all education. He helped start the KIPP school there, but he's been very, very involved in traditional public school. So thank you for what you do, Gary. Alan Abramowitz is here with Guardian Ad Litem that has a big impact on our state. And I hear from people across the state how important the program is and what you're doing. So thank you for what you're doing. Chris Hart is here. Where's Chris? Oh, the light's right there. When Chris is responsible for our career source centers, or our one-stop shopping for jobs. And when I came into office, we actually didn't know how many jobs they were filling. Now we know every day. They get ranked every day, and he's teamed up with a lot of other individuals with our high schools, our state colleges, and universities. They are part of adding 35 to 50,000 jobs a month. So I remember my family struggling for jobs. It's the most important thing we can do is help people get to work, and education is the key to that, but Chris does a great job, so thank you for what you do. Let me just finish by thanking everybody for being here. I've had the great experience of being your governor for 3 years and 3 months. I've learned a lot. A lot of you have given me a lot of advice, and I'm appreciative of that. There's always a nice way of doing it. David does a good job of giving me lots of advice and does it very well. He's very persuasive. But thanks for all your help. And we'll continue to try to make sure this is the #1 state. I think about my family growing up. What did they care about? My parents wanted a job. It was a tough time for them. They had a hard time keeping jobs. They wanted to make sure I had a shot at the dream. That starts with education. It's the only way is through an education. We want a low crime rate. We've got a low crime rate as compared to where we've been. 42.5-year low. And they want a low cost of living. And I know your House and your Senate is doing all these things. So thanks for the opportunity to be here. Congratulations on all your success.